Hi everybody, we're back for Roxy's Journal of Stitchery and this is part 21, so the prompt was a fox. So I'm doing an Arctic fox and I apologise for the voiceover, but all I've been able to manage the last few weeks is a bit of videoing with just music on while Lily does her final exit up to Queensland. It's been a bit full on and it's also been a bit sad. So I'm okay now. She's happy. That's the most important thing. Anyway, I've outlined with the heat pen a baby fox, a baby Arctic fox, and I'm just painting it in. I wanted to have a go at painting and then sewing over the top, seeing how that worked, if I liked it, and I didn't mind it. I think it came out pretty well. Just finishing painting here before using a black fine liner, a waterproof fine liner, to start to get a little bit of detail. I was kind of experimenting with this process. I could have just got more shades of white and started to fill in the body and really paint it, but I thought I'll use this pen and get a little bit of the detail and then oversew and see how I go. So right now that's what I'm doing, filling it in. Details of the nose, the mouth and the eyes. And I'm quite aware that at the moment that paint just looks like a block. So I ended up a bit graffiti-ish, scribbling it all on. Then I thought, well, before I do any oversewing, I'm going to put some bits of lace on that represent a bit of snow. Well, my representation anyway. And I liked it. This fox, of course, is going to go onto a background, and I haven't quite made that background yet. I wanted to hear what the next prompt was. Still thinking about how many extra pages I'm adding into my book, whether I'm going to revisit the idea of making it now a soft cover and maybe working out how to make it a hardcover again. I'm not quite sure. That'll all probably be right at the very end. So here I'm just putting a little running stitch all the way through that lace to get it on, and enjoying some music in the background, which you can't hear because the magic of YouTube and copyright. Okay, so I'm just coming back on that bottom row and finishing that up. So off camera I've done a little bit of snow look up the side and along the top there, and now I'm putting a little bit of vintage lace on just to give a slight variation in texture. It's a piece I got from Sarah, I do believe. It's got some lovely little old stains on it, gorgeous. And what I'm using is one strand of a satin embroidery floss. Now I've started to put down some white. It's a polyester ball of wool that I have, and I decided what I'd do was go all around the edges of the areas I'd marked out in black. Fill in the legs a little bit, fill in the tail, and see how I go. So here is the end result, and what I did was recognise that I wasn't happy quite with the way the tail was sitting. It was really sitting up a bit too high than what anatomically would be correct. So I decided to paint where the black mark was and cover, just cover that bit that I didn't want and leave the stitched area. I put a little bit on the face. I've put a bit all the way around then, because then I thought, well, I'm just going to smudge it and blend it out on the material to help it look a bit more like snow, because I used an off-white on the body and this is a white. I'm realising at this point that it's actually supposed to be opaque, but I can see that black bleeding through on the top of the back tail area. So I just keep painting, and I add another layer when that's dried to the top of the tail. Still finding I'm not happy with the lack of opacity for an opacity high paint. I decided to put on a red snowflake, which is also in line with the odd bit of red work throughout my blue book, and just putting this down with a little running stitch. And I'm using the black thread that I used. I think I must have forgotten to press record on my video, and it's the same black thread that I use for the whiskers, mouth, nose and eye detail that I've already done. And I've decided that this is it. I could probably do a few more things. I may do a few more things over Christmas on it, but here's the end result, and I hope you enjoyed my little Arctic fox. Bye for now.